On this episode, we dive into popular snacks at Disney Springs, breaking down taste, value, portion size, and overall experience to decide whether each item is worth it or not. Today's June 27th, 2025, and this is episode 784 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Are you ready for your bucket list trip? Our trusted partner, MEI Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Well, hello from I-4. We're taking this show on the road, aren't we, Rhonda?
Yep.
Do you want to fill everybody in, tell them why we're recording in a vehicle right now? Because we do this every once in a while when our schedules get a bit too hectic.
But 90% of the time, we are doing this while we were headed to Disney.
This is true.
We are headed to Orlando.
Fact.
But we are not headed to Disney. We are going to the Holiday Inn by the airport to spend the night so we can get up and go to Austin, Texas tomorrow morning.
Yeah, very excited. So this is the same Holiday Inn that we stayed at night before we went to Disneyland. I mean, you could almost throw a rock from it to MCO, I feel like. It's so close. It's a great hotel for if you need an overnight stay near MCO. I think it's perfect.
$100.
Yeah, it's like $100 a night. Was it $13, I think, for a parking fee, which isn't awful.
So you park, it's weird because you park...
You didn't pay Holiday Inn, right? We had to pay like a meter?
Right. It's just, I scan it when I get there tonight, and then I pick almost like hours, I think, kind of. Like
Yeah. Like you would at a digital meter like in downtown St. Augustine.
Something like that.
I'm going to be here for 3 hours or 8 or whatever, and then it charges you by hour. So, but yeah, I mean, they've got, we ate a pub sub here in the car to save some money for Austin, but last time we went, they had a full restaurant and bar that was still open down in the lobby, at 9, 10 o'clock. We had some really good food from there. The rooms are spacious.
They're cold.
Very, very cold.
They're
I
old.
do remember that. Yes, they are older for sure.
But they're clean.
Yes, very.
And I didn't feel scared or gross or anything like that. And again, obviously, we're staying here again, so I would stay. Yeah. But just for a night. Like, this is not somewhere
it's for the stopover before we're flying out of MCO, because our options to go from MCO to Austin and Disneyland, obviously, are so much better than out of Jacksonville. So it's about an hour, 40 minutes for us to get down to MCO, so we choose just to do that. But this is not about Austin, Texas, or where we're going or any of that. We're going to close out our Eat It or Beat It series, finally, with Disney Springs.
Nice.
If you go back, episode 750, we did Magic Kingdom. Episode 759 was Epcot. Episode 775 was Hollywood Studios. And then most recently, episode 781 was Animal Kingdom. And we basically take 10 really popular snacky type items within each of the parks and now Disney Springs and kind of tell you whether it's worth it or not, based on value and size. Is it maybe unique to other areas in Disney? And things like that, because just because it's good doesn't mean you should spend your money on it, right?
Oh, yeah, true, which sometimes I think I used to like to say yes to it all.
Yeah, most of these might be on the Eat It, so we shall see.
Okay.
But before we get into that, if you go to mainstmagic.com, our wonderful writer, John Self, most recently even today, while we're recording this actually, just wrote a new article about Disney Springs dining updates. Brings you all the latest news from Disney Springs every Monday through Friday. He's posting food reviews at noon at mainstmagic.com. Just click on the news tab, check it all out. And then, of course, if you haven't, go out and check out our YouTube channel. We're going to start putting a lot more stuff up there as well at mainstmagic. So you ready to get into it?
Yep.
Rhonda's going to pay attention to the road. I'm going to pay attention to the notes.
Okay.
Let's start at, okay, here's the other thing with this one. These aren't going to be as much specific items as much as it is an item at a place that has varying flavors maybe. For example, our first one, we're going to go to Swirls on the Water for a Dole Whip Flight.
Yeah.
Now, right now, their Dole Whip consists of pineapple and vanilla soft serve swirl and a fresh pineapple wedge, a banana and salted caramel soft serve swirl with caramel crispy pearls, which they also have a full-size banana Foster's of, and it's amazing.
I just started to say 90% of these, I feel like in the flight, you can get as a full, and then it's like called...
Yeah, at some point, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And then the last one is green mint and chocolate soft serve swirl, shamrock sprinkles, and a shamrock coin.
That sounds very good.
These vary. The flavors you can get vary. There'll be seasonal things like that, along with their, monthly and seasonal things like the Banana Foster Sundae that they did. I guess talk about it. Talk about it from portion size, because this is $7.99.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
$7.99.
Yeah. You get 3 of them, like Jeremy just said, and I mean they're perfect size to try them, but also like enough that you can share, and then you kind of don't want any more.
Yeah.
So I think they're great, and it's a great value.
It's one of the best on property, I think, for value. You get these 3. They're not like full size plastic martini glasses.
Right.
They're like a mid-size, smaller one, but each of those is filled with Dole Whip.
Yeah.
They have all these toppings on them, and like you said, we've gone plenty of times. There's been 4 of us.
Yeah.
And we all get plenty of bites from all 3 of them and feel like satisfied with what we did. So I would say we're both saying it's a definite eat it, right?
Yeah. Especially depending on what they have and time of year.
Oh, of course, yeah. Some are better than others, obviously, but most of their stuff's been pretty good that we've had. Dole Whip originated in 1983, and it was Disney's first vegan, gluten-free soft serve. Aww. And if you didn't know, it is gluten and vegan-free. So that part is great. Or gluten-free and vegan, I mean. So that's awesome. Ready for our next one?
Yep.
We're going to head on over to Gideon's Bakehouse.
And stand in a very long line.
We're going to talk cookies.
Okay.
Right, Rhonda?
Yep.
So their monthly cookie right now, because they do special monthly cookies, this one actually just dropped June 22nd, is a White Chocolate Macadamia Nut. Now, their cookies, depending on which ones you get, will run you anywhere from $6 to $6.50 each. Mm-hmm. So they are quite expensive for a cookie. Right. What kind of cookie is this, Rhonda? And what's some of your favorites that they have? Because, again, we're kind of generalizing. Because once you go in here, we're going to say, look, their cookies are either worth eating or not. Once you get in there, you make a decision on what flavor you want, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, is it a half pound? Are they all
They're a half pound each. Yep.
Each cookies. And they're very big, and they're soft, and they're chewy, and they're good. And yeah, they have all kinds of different flavors.
What are some of your favorites that we've had? Well, what are our go-tos? Because you're usually the one placing the orders. I mean, the standard chocolate chip is the best chocolate chip cookie you'll ever have, I think.
Yeah, it's really good with the salt on it and stuff. And then, we like the peanut butter and stuff. I really like the morning coffee one. John's yelling at me right now.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But, again, we don't have our normal stuff in front of us to go and refer to a few things, but...
Morning coffee cake.
Yeah, morning coffee cake one, yeah.
But they run out of those sometimes.
Yes, they do.
So you can't get them, but
right, in general, is Gideon's Bakehouse is a cookie, eat it or beat it. In general, let's just go by the cookie first. Just somebody hands you a cookie. Is it eat it or beat it? Is it worth eating or not? And they say, somebody just hands you a cookie and says, give me $6.50.
Of course. Yes.
Eat it or beat it?
Yes, eat it.
Okay.
But
now, if there is a 45-minute wait in front of somebody handing you that cookie for $6.50, you think beat it?
Because there's a place where you can go down the street.
Yeah. But you're thinking of locals, you're thinking of people with vehicles, you're thinking of people that are going to leave Disney property. A large portion of people, and again, I'm thinking of this for, our family from Denver. That, maybe comes once a year, they're coming for the first time, and they're trying to figure out where to spend their money, where not to. They've heard all about Gideon's cookies. Do they wait 45 minutes for them?
Yeah.
100% I say eat it. You don't have to agree with me, by the way. This is our own thing.
I know.
I think if you're going to Disney for your first time, or you only go once a year, or you're not sure when you're going back, you figure out the best time to get there through John Self, because he's going to tell you, and you go, and you wait, and you get a cookie.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get anything like this anywhere else, and you're not going to leave to go to the other Gideons, right?
Right, and I guess so, because I'll never forget when, Rachel got them all the time, and we were like, but every time we saw the line, and we're like, we're not going to stand in this line, we're not going to stand in the line. And then finally we did, and we were like, okay, we get it.
And pretty much regretted not having stood in line all those other times, right?
Kind of, yes. But I think ever since the place down the road opened up,
and we might talk about that later,
I think they're giving them a little run for their money. I'm not
going
gonna lie.
Too. Let's circle back to that conversation when we get to that portion. Now, another thing I do want to mention is that these cookies freeze so ridiculously well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if you did, now again, I understand if you're buying a whole big box of cookies and you got to fly home and all this stuff, but if you had an opportunity, just say to go to Disney Springs on your last day or two, and you can load up on a few and transfer them home safely, put them in freezer bags, Ziplocs, whatever, put them in your freezer. They are so good. We will buy a bunch because we don't particularly want to wait 45 minutes for one cookie either. Right. When we can go pretty often. So we'll actually go buy half a dozen or so and freeze most of them. Yeah. And then you can take them out, set them on your counter for about 15, 20 minutes. And they're about just as good as if you were there getting them fresh.
Yeah.
So, Gideon's actually does weigh a half pound, and they take over 24 hours to prepare. So the dough is chilled, it's aged, and then it's layered with massive amounts of chocolate nuts or toffee chunks, giving it that signature gooey yet crispy texture. 24-hour cookies. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to another sweet. Now, this one is very unique, I will say, because you're not getting a snack delivered to you anywhere else on Disney property in this manner, nor are you in most places in the world, because you're going to go to an ATM at Sprinkles.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to purchase a cupcake out of an automated teller machine. It should be called an ACM, automated cupcake machine.
Oh, it should be. That'd be cool.
So cupcakes there at Sprinkles are going to run you about $6 each. They are made fresh there, and they're delivered from this cupcake ATM. So we've done the cupcake ATM.
And it's super
Tell people a little bit about it.
I mean, it's just it is. It's literally just like an ATM where you get cash out of. You go up to this thing and you screen and you press buttons and you pay for it, and then literally instead of cash comes out a cupcake.
It's so cool.
It is, and it's good. I think it's.
Let's move on to the eat it or beat it portion. How do you feel about value, taste? There's lots of different flavors. $6 each.
$6. I think eat it because I think it's super fun to do it, and it's good enough to do it and eat it, and you have a good cupcake.
Yeah.
It's not the best cupcake. It's not like
I see where you're going. So I think I'm going to agree with you.
I think it tastes a little better because you're literally getting it out of a cupcake. I mean, an ATM.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, it's a cool experience. Here's what I'll say, and I think you're kind of in agreement. $6 is 1,000% worth the experience. Right?
Yes.
So for me, that's kind of where it ends. I don't think their cupcakes are that good. I haven't found one that I truly love or enjoy. Yeah. But again, I mean, where are you going to get a cupcake out of an ATM? I personally think that at this point now maybe 5 years ago or pre-COVID, it was a little different. Right now, Disney's cupcakes that they're doing and selling within their resorts and restaurants and stuff, in my opinion, are better than Sprinkles. Sprinkles are dry to me, and I don't
agree.
care for the icing. It's a drier icing, and a lot of times they'll have decor of like, I don't know if it's fondant or what, but it's dry. I'm not a fan of the cupcake. I think the ATM is super cool, and it's definitely worth $6 now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been a long time since we've gone inside. We actually more recently got another cupcake ATM cupcake, and I remember it being like pretty good, and I was like, but I do feel like Disney has upped their cupcake game, and I prefer Disney's.
For me, personally, if you want the best cupcake on property that I have had, you go to Holly, and you get the Dole Whip cupcake, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I'm so glad you agree. Go get that thing. What is cool, though, is this is open, I mean, basically 24/7. I'll be honest, I don't know the entrance of Disney Springs, which obviously closes. But when other places often can be closed to get something sweet, this cupcake ATM is going to be open. So that part's pretty cool. It's supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
This was originally launched in Beverly Hills in 2012, and it brought the first one-of-its-kind cupcake ATM to Disney Springs in May of 2016, making it the go-to late-night treat dispenser for Disney guests.
Oh.
So we're both going to say eat it experience,
Yes.
and then honestly, you could pretty much throw the cupcake in the garbage, but you might as well give it a little nibble, right?
Oh, wouldn't.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
that's not. No.
Let's give it another shot next one of these times soon, all right?
I think we need to go
come back.
inside.
Inside, I agree.
Because there's not a ton in the ATM.
Correct.
There's not a lot to choose from, but there's plenty to choose from that you would be satisfied with. Does that make sense?
Oh,
No,
in that one.
in the
Yeah.
ATM.
It's going to go with some of the most popular, common type
Right.
things. All right, we're going to go here around the corner a little bit. We're going to get some poutine. We're going to get Canadian, real poutine from the Deli Poutine. We're not going to get loaded fries that are like Italian poutine and Mexican poutine and Irish and God knows what poutine. We're going to get the actual Canadian poutine, which consists of French fries, a beef poutine gravy, and cheddar curds. This is $10.49.
And
Talk about the poutine.
this was large.
Yeah, very.
This was a very large. This was really actually good.
I thought so too.
Like, we didn't even eat it all. It was so large.
It was. So it's one of the cardboard boats, but I feel like they put twice as much in there as they normally would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
This is poutine.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
It's outstanding. You know, they find a way of making those cheese curds nice and squeaky, right? When you still bite into them, they got that great flavor. The gravy's delicious. The fries somehow, stay crispy.
Yeah.
Throughout being loaded with all this, gravy and everything. $10.49 for a very, very, very shareable snack. That, I mean, other than not having a protein, I feel like eats like a meal.
Oh, the cheese is protein.
Well, that's true. I meant like a meat, I guess I should have said.
Oh. Yeah, I agree. And then it's so large. I mean, think about, in my opinion, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but it's so large that, like, if I eat half, you eat half, think about it being like $5 a pop.
Yeah.
So $5 is not bad. So you want one, I want one. It's $10.
That's a great point. You're not finding something like that anywhere else.
Right.
So this is about to turn into our best deals on property episode because I want to do that at one point. The best values, and this is definitely one of them, I think.
Yeah, and this is where I would go to get poutine.
I would too. And it's called Daily for a reason because they have specialty poutines that rotate seasonally.
Oh.
For example, they had the Italian poutine with mozzarella and a bolognese sauce. They have a Latin poutine with yuca fries and black beans.
Oh.
And a French poutine with mushroom cream sauce and Gruyere
Ooh.
cheese. Again, all I don't think are poutines. They're loaded fries, but...
that yuca sounds amazing.
It does, actually.
I do like yuca.
Yeah. 100% eat it.
Yuca like it
100%
too?
eat it. You could love it. You could get as much as you want. All right, here comes a very fun conversation. We're going to circle back to Gideon's because we're going to pit it up against the cookie bar at Summer House on the Lake.
Yep.
Now, you can get cookies here, a huge selection, which for the most part, you can walk up, maybe wait behind one or two people if it's busy. Sometimes I think it's a little bit longer, but for the most part, or order them directly when you sit and have a meal.
Yep.
and they'll bring them to you from the cookie bar.
Yep.
Large selection of cookies. They're ranging in value, or price, I should say, from $4.95 to $5.95.
Yep. These aren't half pound.
Nope.
Like
these are more
weighted?
traditional cookies, I would say,
But
as far as.
well, not all of them.
Yeah.
But they are large cookies. I think for the taste of like what they are, how big they are, they're soft, they're chewy. Rachel's gonna kill me, but I feel like I don't know, she might agree with me. I would probably pick, I would pick it over Gideon's because there's so much more to choose from.
And accessibility.
And they're really good.
Yeah. I mean, let's break down Gideon's a little bit, which we love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We did the Florida Fresh thing where Steve Lewis, the owner, we got to see him speak and talk about it. Seems just like an incredible dude who built this business, by basically, just like, selling cookies from this West End market. And then, they started giving them to Polite Pig, and Polite Pig was selling Gideon's chocolate chip cookies, and it blew up. And then next thing we know, this Gideon's opens at Disney Springs. The cookies are incredible.
Yeah.
I think the price and the value is so worth it for the cookies. But there's a lot more to a Gideon's experience. And part of that is waiting in line. It's getting the menu that they hand to you while you're waiting that has special monthly artwork on it. It's the cookies of the month. It's the warm cookie hour. It's the interior and the decor and the story and everything behind it.
Right.
Summer House is a big, huge bar with a ton of delicious cookies.
Yeah.
And a place that makes you feel like you're in California.
Right.
I got to go to my comparison of burgers, where the Steakhouse 71 burger can't be compared to a lot of other burgers on property because I think they fall in a different category of burger. And I think this is the same thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to compare Summer House to Gideon's. I think they're each their own thing. I think they're both delicious, and I personally think they're both eaten. Now, you determine what your wait time is worth. You know what I mean?
Right.
There might be some times where you go and you go, I really want a Gideon's cookie. The wait is an hour. I'm not going to wait an hour. I'm going to go to Summer House, and it's going to give me enough of a fix, I think.
Right. Summer House has a fantastic gluten-free brownie, though.
They do. They do.
That is, it is seriously, and y'all know what I'm talking about when I tell you the Cosmic Brownie, the Little Debbie, that is pretty much what it tastes like, and it is
But gluten-free, right?
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And we know, obviously, through Amy, our wonderful travel advisor with MEI Travel and good friend, and we've tasted, of course, she's gluten-free. We've tasted a lot of this stuff.
Every time we're
gluten-free
with her,
desserts are hard to find at Disney that taste good.
Yes, it is.
So this one,
Yes.
I know she loves to get every single time.
Oh, she gets a couple of them, and I'm pretty sure, and she's gonna text me and let me know, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure she got one and then took some home and took it, got an extra and froze it possibly.
Oh, I bet.
And then it still was really good.
Yeah. Here's what we'll say, that this brownie is so good that we would go buy it and we're not gluten-free.
Absolutely.
How often can you find that?
Right.
Gideon's does not have any gluten-free items.
No, it does not.
If I remember correctly,
We talked about that.
Yes, it is because
it's way too hard.
Yeah, it's so hard to make, and I think I remember seeing at one point the cost of the cookies would have to be increased significantly.
Yeah.
And
it have to be a $10 cookie.
Yeah, and I believe he also said that he just doesn't feel that it would produce the quality cookie that he wants, which is understandable. He's very, very particular about his cookies and his recipes and all of that. Gideon's is one of these businesses that, they're not taking investors. They don't take partnerships and things like this. He wants to control this whole thing.
Right.
So, and they do a good job. But Summer House, eat it. It's not called the birthday cake cookie, I believe, because is their birthday cake cookie? No, it's called the pink something.
The pinky.
The pinky. In my opinion, that should be called birthday cake because it's a delicious sugar cookie covered in pink icing with sprinkles.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
It's good.
So definitely get
Really
that one
good.
over at Summer House. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite guys, Guy Fieri in Chicken Guy. And we're going to taste his
snack?
crispy tenders with dipping sauces. Remember, they have a couple dipping sauces.
So now if it sounds a little different, we are in our room, all safe and sound. We were driving and it was kind of crazy. There was some speeding
Dude,
cars.
what was up with those Mustangs racing or something, man?
And then there was some lots of cops
Yeah.
and construction.
Well,
and
our Waze goes off and tells us, if there's construction or cars or cops or whatever it may be. And it just started going off because we're getting so close to the airport. So there's just a lot going on. So we're like, all right, let's shut it down. Let's get into the room.
I got a little like.
Well, you needed to focus. You need to focus on where we're going.
Focus more.
Yes, because it's not like we're going to Disney where you
right.
can drive there almost with your eyes closed. But don't do that. You'd probably crash into stuff.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's move on, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about Chicken Guy here, real quick, because I had one more point kind of that I wanted to make. Was that I think this becomes an eat it for me if you go back to when it opened. With those 20 original sauces, right? It becomes this experience,
I remember when we first went, it was an experience.
And we got so many sauces and it was exciting.
Yeah.
And I think by taking all that back, now you're basically you're just a regular kind of fast casual chicken place that I think has a really cool owner, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I did want to touch on this because I've been trying to give a little bit of like trivia or fun facts or whatever it may be. You got any fun facts about us and Guy Fieri? You remember?
Oh, well, we watched him win the night before
night after our wedding.
The night after our wedding, night before we went on our honeymoon.
Yeah, so Guy Fieri was in the Next Food Network Star, which we loved. We watched it. We loved watching him all season, and the finale was on April 23rd, 2006. And we got married on April 22nd,
19 years ago.
2006. Yep. So we went home, or we were in our condo that Sunday, and we watched the finale that night, and then the next morning we got up and went on our honeymoon.
Flew to St. Lucia.
Yeah, so I mean, I had been following and watching Guy Fieri since Next Food Network Star, so for 20 years almost, and so yeah, for me, I want to go somewhere like this because he owns it, But same way, I'd want to go on the cruise just to eat his burgers, which is one of the first things that Cassidy said to me when we saw her. So
really?
She walked in the house. Lacey's best friend Cassidy, Robin Tina's daughter, who you all have heard about plenty of times. Was on like a 10-day cruise with her boyfriend and his family. So we hadn't seen her in like 2 weeks, but she came back. The first words she said to me were, "Hey, I ate his burger," because I had Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on. She goes,
What?
"Hey, I ate his burger," and at first I was just put off, and I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, that's right."
And what'd
'Cause
you
had told me.
say?
I said, "How was it?" She's like, "It was okay." Like, all right.
She's like her dad.
Taste, yeah. But let's move on to something that I think everyone might enjoy, because we're going to go to homecoming. And I think we're kind of looking at snacks here at Disney Springs.
I started to say, you're kind of borderlining on snacks where, like, can we just throw pizza ponte in there? That'd be a snack.
I think that it's obvious. So we honestly didn't put pizza ponte on this list because that's an obvious. And our last one's going to be obvious anyway.
Yeah.
Pizza ponte is 100% an eat it.
Yeah,
Value, taste, portion size, everything. Everything. But you remember, I don't know, this was obviously more than 2 years ago. We went with Kat and Michael. We went to the bar. We sat at homecoming. We had drinks. We ordered a Mama's mac and cheese, I think, and maybe another appetizer because we weren't eating a meal with them. We were all forced sitting, having some drinks and basically kind of snacks, which we've done at homecoming a lot of times. Yeah. We'll go sit at the bar, maybe just get an appetizer. For me in this, a snack is almost anything that isn't actually a full meal. You know what I mean? And this could maybe double as one, but this is $10. It is one of his sides. I'm showing, if you remember, portion size to you, which obviously people can't see. It's a
decent
let's say
size.
this. For how cheesy and rich and Chef Art Smith it is, the size is perfect.
Correct.
Don't you think? For one or more? Did you say? Do you think this is very shareable for $10?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you, as a, we're going to sit at the bar, have something to drink, get something to share, that's not enough. But do you think it's obviously shareable as a side with a meal?
Yeah.
But if you're kind of like a snack, you're going to probably want one maybe for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shareable, like, if you're getting that and maybe the deviled eggs and, like, something like that.
Yeah.
Like a couple of things where then, yes, you want a few bites.
Which we did.
It is very rich and thick.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it is very. So then with that all being said, Are you gonna eat it or beat it?
It's amazing mac and cheese, so I'm gonna eat it.
Is it the best mac and cheese?
Probably.
You think it's the best mac and cheese you've ever had?
Probably. I'm trying to think.
It's got to be up there.
I need to go get it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to like really sit and think. It's got to be top 3, and I can't, off the top of my head, say what the other 2 are. So maybe it is number 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll circle back around. So we're both saying eat it. I agree. I think it's delicious.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those where, Art Smith is such a fixture in the culinary world that if you're somebody who knows of him, or you enjoy food or Food Network and stuff like that I do, just going to his restaurant in general is part of the experience. Mm-hmm. It is definitely an eat it if you happen to be there when he's there, because he will often come and visit the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that would be very, very cool if that ever happened. But in 2016, did you know that Art Smith appeared on ABC's The Chew, and he cooked up a full Southern Thanksgiving feast inside of Disney's Magic Kingdom, right in front of Cinderella Castle.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be fun to go back YouTube and try and find some clips of that.
Yeah,
huh?
that
Maybe
would
we'll
be.
do that. All right, let's move on to another very, very famous chef, Chef Morimoto in Morimoto, Asia. And of course, we're going to talk about the spare ribs. Mm-hmm. These can certainly be a snack if you get the appetizer, which is 3 ribs for $18. These are pork ribs, cilantro, and a hoisin sweet chili glaze. If you want to turn this into a half rack of ribs, and in my opinion, then maybe make it shareable, it's $38. So this is an interesting one because we're up against some pretty high costs. I mean, you're literally talking $6 a rib, like an individual rib. Do you believe that it is eat it or beat it based
I'm gonna
on
say beat
everything?
it.
You are.
I am.
Okay. Why?
I mean, it's good,
Price is just too much.
and the price is too much. I mean, you can get it on the street side, right?
Street
Which
food one.
is better
Mhm.
because having to go in
Oh, it's it's quick.
is just. But yeah, I'm gonna say beat it.
Okay. I did not see that coming because I think this is one of the best dishes on property. When I talk about my 1 bite filet mignon sliders over at Boathouse, this is one of those bites that could be, in the top 3 best single bites, I think, on property.
Okay.
I know we like to kind of sometimes give like, almost like multiple choice. You know what I mean? If you're this, then this is good. If you know what I mean? So I'm going to say, if you are that person who doesn't get to go to Disney a lot, I'd go ahead and actually beat it and skip it, because there's so much more to focus time on than a really, really probably the best ribs in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're someone who is fortunate to go more often, maybe not as often as we're lucky enough to go and all, but you get to go, every other month, a couple times a year, then 100%, I think it is worth taking the time, making a reservation at Morimoto, go in for the whole experience. And definitely get these ribs.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, if you only plan on ordering 3, you're going to order more.
Yeah.
It's the only reason that I can figure that it's the exact same price and there's no deal. Okay, I'm sorry, it's $35 if you get 6 ribs, a half rack. So only technically $1 less in a sense. You're still paying almost $6 a rib. I bet so many people go in there and only order the 3 rib for the $18. They have some and go, wow, we need more. And
You think so?
technically to make more money, that's how they're doing it. Because if you all of a sudden, if they said, I don't know how they do it, they could say, all right, tell you what, you can almost upgrade to a half rack, we'll bring you the other 3. That's not going to be financially smart for them. So I think they're almost doing it in a way they know that if somebody orders only 3, they're probably going to get more. I think that's how good they are. So that's kind of my eat it if you get to go more often, beat it if this is more of a once in a lifetime, once every year or so trip, because I do think at that point your time and your $18 is probably spent on multiple other things.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's kind of my thought with those ones. Man, there's a lot of sweet stuff on here. We're going to finish off with 2 more sweets. We're going to head on over to Everglazed, who is selling donuts. Now, we're not going to talk about like the new chicken strips. John has covered those many times because we haven't had them yet. And we're not going to talk about like the sandwich and all. They do have amazing breakfast sandwiches. We're just going to kind of talk about the donuts in general. These run $4.95 to $6.95. These are these yeast-raised dough, and it's proof for hours before frying, which gives the donuts their signature soft, airy texture with just the right amount of chew.
Nice.
Good, big-sized donuts.
Yep.
If you are familiar with Voodoo Donuts, this is the version company that happens to be at Disney Springs.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
They don't get quite as I guess like eclectic.
Crazy?
Yeah, they don't get quite as crazy with the flavors and the theming and the inside and all. Everglazed doesn't. It's much more of a kind of traditional, like old school, I feel like, donut shop. But as far as I think the style of the donut, the taste, the size, the flavors, I think they're very, very similar.
Right.
Real quick, Voodoo Donuts, are you an eat it or beat it? Just in general. If somebody says, going to Universal, we're thinking about grabbing breakfast at City Walk, Voodoo Donuts, eat it, I agree.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to Disney Springs and they're like, think about having Everglazed. Get a donut there. Are they good? Should we eat it or beat it?
Eat it.
Agreed.
I
it's
think
like
they're
the easiest way to
good.
do that. Maybe we should have just done that the whole time. This episode would have been like 3 minutes long. It would have just been like, eat it or beat it. Pick. They're really good.
Yeah. And then they have the what's the one that they have that is really good? The I forget what they're called. Are they purple or they're
The Ube donuts, yeah.
Is that the good?
Yeah, they have the Ube donuts there. We've had them there. We've had the
we have
Ube donut bites. It's that purple sweet potato that is like big now. It's like all in. It's the in thing.
And
did
we have gluten-free ones too?
There, I don't believe we have, no. But their donuts are great. I mean, these are two places that I went to thinking that the hype was going to be much more than the actual flavor. Because both places, I think, can still get away with selling you a donut that's not incredible. Again, because of the flavors and the experience and everything.
That's good.
Simple fact is, they live up to the taste. They live up to everything.
And they're big
both of
too.
them. They're huge.
Yeah.
So again, you've got a splittable.
Yeah.
You've got great coffees and stuff there, and cold brews, and it's a wonderful place. And like we said, they have these breakfast sandwiches on this kind of Swedish, like not Swedish, like
sweet,
like like the Swedish chef, like sweet-ish bun that is just amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely give that one a shot. Would you ever, because we don't do it, would you do just say a Dunkin' Donut in a sense as like a dessert any time of the day thing? Like those feel much more reserved just for morning. To me,
I don't like Dunkin' and I'll eat them, but if you were like, I'd want Parlor because they're like airy and lighter.
Yeah, that's like a cronut though. Okay, let's go to Krispy Kreme, right? Like Krispy Kreme, I think for me it's like a morning donut. And then, but for me, the Everglazed and the Voodoos, it's an all-day donut. Like you could do it as dessert. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to personally go get a dessert donut from Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme or one of those places. I would go to one of these and be like, hey, I want a dessert. Let's get a donut. It's not just for mornings anymore. That'd be my slogan.
Okay.
Speaking of dessert, we got one more.
Uh-huh.
We're not going to leave this off the list the way that we did Pizza Ponte, because this truly can fall, I think, under
a snack,
a treat. Where are we going, Rhonda?
Salt
no one's
and
surprise.
straw.
Yes, we are. For any one of their specialty ice cream flavors, they do the things like strawberry, balsamic, a honey lavender. Some of
that crap is weird, though, man.
Weird,
and then some of it's not good at all.
Some of it is not the best.
At all.
Yeah,
no, not even the best. Like, it's not good.
Okay.
But
Thanksgiving was not a good decision by their part to put turkey inside of ice cream.
They do have some just actual regular flavors that seem to be more regular. Like,
yeah, I mean, you've got but they still took a spin on everything. When you look at like their snickerdoodle or their caramel ribbon one and their all these different ones, the ones that I think has like a cookie dough, I think they're still varying them up enough. But I do agree. I think the flavors are familiar enough that it's not so crazy and wild that somebody who likes the traditional one won't like these, as opposed to saying, let me give you a strawberry balsamic. Which are two very opposite intense flavors that happen to work together in some instances. Now, does it work together in ice cream? That's kind of everybody's own opinion on what they think it tastes like. But
Right. And it's nice that you can taste it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You can, and highly recommend it, right?
Yeah.
You suggest you should taste anything before you try it? Do you think even if it's something that seems familiar, like a snickerdoodle or a, what was the tiramisu one that I did not care for? Remember?
I mean, yes, even though I think I knew I liked stuff, like you still tasted and I didn't try one. But when you have something that's very strange, you should try it. Even if it sounds good, sometimes you just try it.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. Do you think people should even try the ones that don't sound as crazy?
Yes.
Like so that you should give every flavor a try here before you actually
possibly
spend your money on it. Because here, you're spending $7.50 for a scoop, $2.15 for the waffle cone. So you're almost at $10 each. Because every time we come out of there, it's over $20 for the two of us.
Yeah.
It is an expensive ice cream.
Yeah. We just spent $16.
We did.
For just a daggum.
What did we get?
Mickey. No, it wasn't even Mickey. I wish it was. What was it?
We're at a Holiday Inn.
M&M and
I got an M&M ice cream cookie sandwich, and you got a strawberry shortcake bar. They're $8 each.
Yeah.
They're even shaped like a Disney character.
Right.
I would say beat it.
Yeah.
I don't even think my cookie was cooked all the way. I'm gonna contact Mars and M&M. I mean, this is a definite eat it. I do think you should try it, and I definitely think some of their flavors do not work.
Yes, but I think they have enough. Like I said, that's on their whatever menu that has enough that you could go there and eat it.
We were there 5 weeks ago for Main Street 16 weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We had it twice because Tina loved it. Mm-hmm. She has mentioned it to me at least twice since then.
Really?
And how excited she is to go back and get it.
Aww.
I think, when you do get the flavor that you enjoy, it is my favorite ice cream that I've ever had. It is creamy. It's delicious. They do have vegan options, which are icy because obviously they don't have the dairy.
Right.
For me personally, a lot of times they're delicious, but they don't fill that ice cream craving, but they're still good.
That creaminess.
They don't
dairy that you want.
Yes, exactly.
But they are very good.
Yeah,
and we've had some that were very good that we were like,
oh, and I'd get it again.
Oh my gosh, that's
100%.
really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, salt and straws eat it all around. I'm still waiting on commissions. If people go in there and tell them that we sent them.
Okay.
Because we could if we could just walk in and they would just be like, "Here's your cone, sir," and I could just walk right back out. We did once when I was wearing my or you were wearing your Be Nice to cast member hat, weren't you?
And I thought it was you.
It might have been me then. Yeah, that wonderful cast member that was working there was so thankful. She was like, "You know what? These are on me." I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So
we were like, $20 every time we come in. Absolutely.
Yeah. Heck yeah, I would. That thing adds up,
I will
man.
take it.
Jeez. I mean, we spent.
Thank you.
How much we spent? If we only paid for ours, I don't remember if we paid for Matt or Tina's during Main Street 16 weekend. But God, we spent $50 on ice cream that weekend, just you and I.
Mm-hmm.
That's
but
crazy.
we did not. We did not buy.
No, we didn't buy theirs.
No.
All right. Well, that was a good idea because it's expensive. So. All right. Well, that is going to wrap up our Eat It or Beat It series. Hopefully everybody enjoyed these.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I don't think we're going to bother.
They were fun.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to bother doing a resort one. I think it'd be real hard to narrow down, but of course, if people would like us to. I did just get a request on Instagram today. Someone would like us to do the top 10 desserts. So that's something we can start piecing together and start working on, bring that to you guys. Of course, if you want to hear that whenever it comes out, if you want to hear all the other Eat It or Beat It episodes, if you want to hear about our trip July 4th coming up, I'm going back and taking Kaylin and her boyfriend Talon July 10th through 12th. End of the month, we're going to check out this new Starlight Nighttime Parade at Magic Kingdom. We are going to ride Test Track 3.0, do some other fun stuff. And of course, if you want to hear all that, you got to hit subscribe and you get the brand new episodes every single Tuesday and Friday. Then as long as you're out there, Rhonda and I would be so super thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.